Halloween has been around for more than 1,000 years. Originally a religious observance, it is now time for dress-up, trick-or-treating, and fun. The tradition originated with the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain, when people would light bonfires and wear costumes to ward off ghosts. In the 8th century, Pope Gregory III designated November the 1st as a time to honor All Saints. Soon, All Saints' Day incorporated some of the traditions of Samhain. The evening before was known as Hallows' Eve and later Halloween. It was believed that on that day the souls of the dead returned to their homes, so people dressed in costumes and lit bonfires to ward off spirits. Over time, Halloween evolved to what we see now: pumpkin carving, festive gatherings, dressing up in costumes, and eating treats. Though the holiday began in Celtic regions of Ireland, the United Kingdom, and France, it quickly spread to other parts of the world. The first American colonists in New England were forbidden to celebrate it for religious reasons. Nobody enjoyed some popularity in the southern colonies. As the beliefs and customs of different European ethnic groups and the American Indians meshed, a distinctly American version of Halloween began to emerge. The first celebrations included play parties, which were public events held to celebrate the harvest. Neighbors would share stories of the dead, tell each other's fortunes, dance, and sing. By the 1800s, fall festivals marking the seasonal harvest incorporated Halloween's elements, and Irish immigrants, escaping the devastating potato famine, brought with them many Halloween traditions that remain today. Borrowing from European traditions, Americans began to dress up in costumes and go house to house asking for food or money, a practice that eventually became today's trick-or-treat tradition. Young women believed that on Halloween they could divine the name or appearance of their future husband by doing tricks with yarn, apple, parings, or mirrors. By the 1920s and 1930s, Halloween had become a secular but community-centered holiday, with parades and town-wide Halloween parties as the featured entertainment. Despite the best efforts of many schools and communities, vandalism began to plague some celebrations in many communities during this time. By the 1950s, town leaders had successfully limited vandalism, and Halloween had evolved into a holiday directed mainly at the young. Due to the high numbers of young children during the 50s baby boom, parties moved from town civic centers into the classroom or home where they could be more easily accommodated. Between 1920 and 1950, the centuries-old practice of trick-or-treating was also revived. Trick-or-treating was a relatively inexpensive way for an entire community to share the Halloween celebration. In theory, families could also prevent tricks being played on them by providing the neighborhood children with small sweets. Did you know 1/4 of all candy sold annually in the US is purchased for Halloween? Today, Halloween is one of the biggest holidays for candy sales in the United States, exceeding $2.5 billion annually. Did you know more people are buying costumes for their pets? Americans spent $490 million on costumes for their pets in 2019, more than double what they spent in 2010. Did you know now Halloween is the second largest commercial holiday in US? It ranks second only after Christmas. Consumers spent approximately $9 billion on Halloween. In 2019, according to the National Retail Federation, spending was down a bit in 2020 because of the COVID-19 pandemic. But Americans still forked over $8 billion overall, or an average of $92 per person. Did you know the most lit jack-o'-lanterns on display is 30,581? According to Guinness World Records, the highest number of lit jack-o'-lanterns on display is 30,581 by the city of Keene, New Hampshire in 2013. Did you know there's also traditional Halloween bread in Ireland? It's called bambrack or just brack. The sweet loaf typically contains dark and golden raisins as well as a small hidden toy or ring, similar to the classic king cake as Mardi Gras tradition dictates that the person who finds the item will come into good fortune in the coming year. That is, as long as they don't choke on the trinket. Did you know Disney almost made Hocus Pocus a completely different movie? Everyone's Halloween fav nearly didn't turn into the icon it is today. The original title, Disney's Halloween House, had a much darker and scarier script, according to IMDb. Not only that, but Leonardo DiCaprio was countered to play teenage heartthrob Max Dedison, but turned it down to appear in What's Eating Gilbert Grape instead. Did you know the fastest pumpkin carving only took 16.47 seconds?